else. I'm very happy to be here, especially because every speaker up till now has been preparing you for my talk pretty much, because they've been talking about how important user research is. And it is. Now, as Ton said, I've been in the business for quite some time. And user research is pretty much at the heart of everything we do at AG Consult. In our information architecture projects, our conversion optimization for our optimization clients. And we've been doing that since 2001. Now, I have to tell you, since we started out, the field of user research has changed somewhat. I mean, those pretty scroll maps and click maps that you like looking at so much with the pretty rainbow colors, yeah, we didn't have that, okay? Form analysis tools, very interesting, but that didn't exist when we started. User session recordings, we dreamt of that stuff. I see some people here young enough to be really amazed by this, but we didn't even have Google Analytics. Yeah, I know, it was a long time ago, you know. What we did have back then, and what we still have today, which is, I feel, underused, is user testing. And I'd like to talk to you today about moderated user testing and also some of my favorite unmoderated testing tools. First off, let's talk about that difference. What's the difference between moderated and unmoderated user testing? Well, in moderated user testing, the setup is one-on-one. You have one test moderator interacting with one test participant at a time. This is very important. It also means that you typically don't test with a lot of people at the same time. You're thinking about 5, maybe 10 people per iteration per target audience. The fact that you get up close and personal, one-on-one, also means you get very deep insights. You get very thick data. Now, I harp on a bit about this one-on-one setup because it's very important, right? Sometimes I get emails and people tell me, oh, Els, we're working on this prototype for our new website and we'd like to do some user testing. Could you do some focus groups for us? I have 2 fingers for these people, right? No, I cannot. Because guess what? A focus group is not a user test. A focus group is at best good for generating ideas. As a usability research tool, it absolutely sucks. I flat out refuse. So should you. User testing is one-on-one. The moderator's role in this is very important. First of all, the moderator has to set the participant at ease. You have to create a rapport with this person. You have to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're willing to open up to you. Next, you ask the questions. You set the tasks. What are the research questions you want answered? And then you observe. Moderation is not about talking, right? Aha, you're probably thinking. It's about listening then. No, not really. I'm actually with Jacob on this one. I'm with Jacob on a lot of shit, I have to tell you. User testing is about observing the user. If there is a discrepancy between what the user does and what they say, always go with what they do. As soon as people start talking, they start, well, lying. They don't mean to. It's just that if they tell you something after the test, for example, in your post-test interview, I mean, I've had people tell me that they loved the search feature. They did 4 searches. None of them helped them along in any way. Don't trust what people say. Watch what they do. Unmoderated user testing, you guessed it, there is no moderator. This means there is no interaction. This also means that whatever questions you ask the user, they have to be absolutely crystal clear because there is no room for you helping to clarify things. In traditional user testing, sometimes you ask a question and, you know, maybe you didn't formulate it really well. Maybe they misinterpret it. You can correct that and still get your answers. Unmoderated, that's gone. There are benefits to unmoderated user testing. You can test with a lot of people at the same time. That has its advantages, especially if you want input on particular issues that 5 to 10 qualitative research people just isn't enough. Make no mistake, though, this is still not about statistical significance. We are still looking for patterns here, even in unmoderated testing. Now, what should you choose? Moderated testing, unmoderated testing? Well, that depends on what your problem is. What is the particular issue you are trying to find a solution for, right? Some people have strange problems. In our terms, I would say, what is your research question? Now, sometimes you might have a very big research question. Maybe you're launching a new website or a new app, and you want to find out, do people understand the concept of my new website? Maybe you want to take people through the entire flow of your order procedure. That's when moderated user testing is best. There are 3 types of moderated user testing I'd like to talk you through, and I'd like to start with the classic in-person testing, the 2-room setup. Now, typically, in one room, you have your moderator, your test participant. Everything they say, everything that's happened on the screen is being recorded. In the other room, you have your observation room. Your team is watching the test, preferably together with another expert. Everything that happens in the test room and the interview room is shared to the observation room. Now, obviously, you can do this setup with any device. You can do it on a laptop, on a tablet, a mobile, doesn't matter. Before we talk any further about this type of testing, though, I'd like to clear up some myths there are about this. Myth number 1 is that you need a test lab with a 2-way mirror to do this kind of testing right. I call bullshit. I mean, you're supposed to set the test participant at ease, and then you're going to put them in a room with a 2-way mirror that they know from The Wire and other police series as being a police interrogation room. That's not going to put anybody at ease, right? You don't need that mirror. The only thing you need to do user testing, 2 laptops, some recording software like Camtasia or Moray, SideSync if you're doing it on mobile, mic and speakers, a beamer, and you're good to go. That right there is pretty much your mobile user testing lab. You can test anywhere with that. Which neatly brings me to myth number 2, that you should never test in the client's offices because it would intimidate your test users. Well, yes and no. If your client's offices look like this, and your client has their logo plastered over every surface, wall, cup, mouse mat, then yeah, maybe you won't really get unbiased results. But if your client's offices look like mine, sure, the name is on the bell, but otherwise pretty standard offices, then I have to tell you, it doesn't really matter that much. I've tested in a lot of clients' offices, and well, let's just say I've heard people say some pretty nasty things about some very big brands in some pretty snazzy offices, so it doesn't matter. The reason I like testing in the client's offices as opposed to ours is I can get their whole team to watch the test. I can get the designer, the developer, the copywriter, the marketing all in one room. And guess what? Very often, that is the first time they see actual, real, live people using their product, their website, their app. I know. Scary shit. It can be quite confrontational as well. I've had people walk out of an observation room because they just simply couldn't take it anymore. It's very powerful because for me, also, it just makes my job easier. Because I can tell you, if you see person after person after person fail at exactly the same thing on your website, you're quite motivated to change it. A lot more than when it just says that in a report. Now, another benefit of in-person user testing is eye tracking. I think eye tracking is especially interesting for the people in the observation room because it helps you get a bit more context when the user is talking aloud, because sometimes you might not know exactly what element they're talking about. The eye tracking helps with that. What they're focusing on is usually what they're talking about. I have to admit something though. Even though we do eye tracking for all the in-person user testing that we do, to me, it's the cherry on the cake. If you don't have the money for an eye tracker, don't worry. The real insights you get from user testing are not from the eye tracker. They are corroborative evidence. The real insights you get from observation and using your brain. Which is also why I like urea testing so much, or as I like to call it, user testing in the wild. What you do is you go out and you go to where your users are. You don't invite them to your office. You go out and you find them. We did a test recently where we had to test a prototype with people who were either renovating or building a house. What did we do? Well, we went to an event, an industry event, where these people were just walking around choosing roofing and tiles, and we politely grabbed them from the aisles. Be aware, you're not going to be able to do a 1-hour user test when you do it that way, but 15 minutes, if you're nice, if you have an interesting incentive to offer them, a lot of people will make the time. This is also a great way of testing when context of use is important. If you want to test an app that has to be used by doctors or nurses in a hospital, it's important that you know how they're using it. Go to the hospital, follow them on their rounds. Now, sometimes it's not possible to go out to where your users are or to get them into your office because maybe they're spread out all over the world and you don't have that budget. You don't have that budget to spend on in-person testing with 5 agencies all over. This is when remote moderated testing becomes interesting. Basically, it's just having a web meeting with someone. We use GoToMeeting or Zoom. You record your conversation, really your user test. And it's especially interesting where you can get people to turn on their webcam, because then you can see their facial expressions. And, well, let's just say that while words can lie, facial expressions usually can't. So you get a lot of information from that as well. Now, this is moderated user testing, and it's the most old school way of testing, and I love it. But it is not the best answer to every research question you might have. You know, maybe your research question is about structure, about your information architecture. Then I would say go for online tree testing. We use TreeJack for this, and basically how it works is you just upload your tree structure in Excel into the tool, or if you have doubts between the 2 different versions, upload both versions. Again, just set your tasks, write your user test scenario like you would do for a regular moderated test, and invite people to take the test. You can share the link via social media. If you only want input from a certain group or your clients, just email them and let them do the test. How it works is they basically see the task, see the tree, and they can just click through it, say, here's where I'd find the answer. In this case, for all the non-Dutch speakers out there, we were looking for a sink for our guest bathroom, and yes, we did find it. This is very interesting because you can get really great results from it very fast. You can get a lot of people to take the test, and when you're doing structural work, you want more than 5 people's take on this. TreeJack not only shows you the amount of people that succeeded in fulfilling the task, but also the level of directness. Did they immediately find it, or did they first have to backtrack? Shows you the time taken as well, and basically gives you an overview of every single user. This also can give you great insights on how to improve, because If your red dots of user failure, actually your failure, because the user can never get it wrong, if they're spread out all over the place, that means, you probably did a pretty good job of keeping it in the green. If you have a large area of red somewhere, that means people didn't find it where you put it, but they did all look for it in the same wrong spot. No, that's where you should put it as well, or at least you should put an extra link to it there. So it helps you improve your structure. But hey, maybe your problem isn't structure. Maybe your problem is on a page level. Maybe you have a question about a landing page or copy versus images, positioning, etc. I can hear some of you thinking, surely this is what A/B testing is for. Well, yeah, if your website is live and you have enough visitors and you have enough conversions, then you can do A/B testing. If you live and work in a small company and maybe have clients who don't have, a gazillion users, that's not always possible. This is when screenshot testing or first click testing becomes really interesting. Now, we use Chalkmark for this, but you can also use Usability. Usability Hub has a tool for that as well. And how it works is you upload a screenshot, and again, you write your scenario and you invite your users. Now, this screenshot can be anything. It can be your website, but you can also compare it to your competitor's website. Or you can have different versions of a design when you're still making the website. This is an example that we did for an insurance company client of ours, where we basically tested various versions of the homepage in several iterations. Now, as you can see, not all of those versions were designed according to our research or our ideas, because hello there, big banner. I don't think so. Now, the thing is, one of the questions we asked was exactly the same as what was in the banner. The question is, you would like to retire comfortably. Is there anything this insurance company has that can help you with that? The banner says, you want a carefree retirement. We have something for you. Needless to say, they delivered that banner after we gave them the testing scenario. So they thought, ha ha, we'll make this banner a win, Nah, not so much. People clicked on it, as you can see. Works pretty much like a heat map, this tool. But when you take a closer look, when we look at all the clicks in the banner, sure, it was 20%, but it was the exact answer. You see that teeny tiny thing up top there? That was the word retirement. I think it was in a Verdana 8 points. 25% of people clicked on that. So the teeny tiny word won out over the big ass banner. That's a great way results to get if you don't have enough people for A/B testing, if your website isn't live yet, screenshot testing. Another great research question user testing can help you with is immediacy. Is what you're trying to say clear in the first 5 seconds? This is literally what the 5-second test is for. Daria talked about it as well. 5secondtest.com. Similar to screenshot testing is that you show a screenshot and you ask a question. Difference is, first you show the screenshot, they see it for 5 minutes, and afterwards you ask a number of questions. Very simple questions, easy questions. Things that should be clear in those crucial first 5 minutes. Now, we did it for a client of ours who made a redesign of their landing page. We saw their numbers tank. We thought, look, our hypothesis here is that people simply don't understand your product. They're not going to get a quote for a product they don't know what it is. But hey, that's just our hypothesis, man. So we tested it. We did a 5-second test and we asked people, what does this product do? Was our hypothesis right? Yeah, it was. If you see this, this is not a happy day for our client, And that's the thing about user testing. The results don't always make you happy, But what they do is they give you great insights. Here they told us that copy needs damn hard working. Now, I hope today that I've inspired you not just to make user testing part of your CRO toolbox, but most of all, to get stuck into the old school methods of really, yes, gasp, getting out there and talking to users. Because guess what? If you do that, you'll learn a lot. Thank you very much.